Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
All right, check it. Hisense just announced their affordable RGB Mini LED TV lineup. I know this news is crazy and I gotta go ahead and dive in. But before I go ahead and do that, if you could do me a favor by hitting that like and subscribe button, I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the article. Now, a couple other things I do want to talk about. If you stay towards the end of the video, you'll see a lot of my outtakes. There's something in my eye. And then also, I want to talk about a few other things about the Hisense U7S or U7Q or whatever it's going to be called here in the US. Just keep in mind, just want to let you know about price points. Now, this is just an estimate, and I'm just thinking about this out loud as I was editing the video and I was going over this, and I really didn't talk about the pricing too much about this. If rumors are true that they are coming with a budget-friendly RGB Mini LED TV, then especially in the 7 series, we might be looking around the $1,000 range for the RGB Mini LED TV. Now, I could be wrong about that, and this is about the 55, 65 inch range. And if you look at the 7 series before when it first launched out, it was hovering around that price range. Especially when you're looking at the new technology, I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing as well too, but I could be wrong on that one. And one other thing I didn't talk about in the video as I was going through my edits is that the new budget-friendly RGB Mini LED TV from Hisense is also going to support Dolby Vision 2. Now, I really don't know what that really entails because Dolby Vision 2 seems to be a software update. I don't know if it's going to be backwards compatible with the previous models as well too, but that is also a good incentive as well. Just think about that they are getting the latest Dolby Vision. So I just wanted to throw that out there because it also talked about the article Dolby Vision 2, but I didn't go into too much detail in that video, but I just want to give everyone a heads up about that. Now, let's go ahead and go back to the video. All right, before I go ahead and dive into the news, I do want to give a shout out to High Def News. There's a person who found this article. And so go ahead and give him a subscribe if you can. He's normally on X, Twitter, or whatever you call it, the platform nowadays. And he's also on ABS Forum as well too. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You always be throwing out the latest news when it comes to TV technology, audio, you name it. So just want to give him a shout out. Going to the article, Hisense has announced their budget-friendly RGB Mini LED TV, the U7S Pro. So we're about to go ahead and go into more details of what that really entails and what that might be coming up for North America. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the article. So this link, I will post this on my video in the description. And this is from, and I might be butchering this, Zihu. And the person who wrote this is Tomato Stew. So in this article, they're going to be talking about the U7Q, and they do have some pictures and some comparison just to give an idea. But take this for a grain of salt. We all know what type of camera and how the way it's being color shaded, and you have to see the TV in person in order to get a real true depiction. But the TV is not really announced, but it is exciting to hear that they are going to have a budget-friendly option for the RGB Mini LED TV. Hisense U7S Pro is new RGB Mini LED TV. It utilizes the same high-definition display technology as the flagship UX TV. The Hisense intend to hit the market with this new imaging flagship. Many people may not be familiar with the RGB Mini LED TV, but previously the popular zones and backlighting technology RGB Mini LED is one of the key pieces when it comes to LCD display technology. Unlike the traditional light solution, RGB backlighting allows not only the brightest control but also the color control, resulting in a superior display quality compared to a standard mini LED TV. So the question is that in certain RGB mini LED backlighting technology, it's supposed to promise a wider color gamut, but also color accuracy and more vibrant color. That's why the industry is starting to go more into the RGB mini LED TV route, and what they call it, this black technology is meant to compete with OLED technology after all. And then the imaging principle of two or very similar picture quality is practically indistinguishable. So here in this article, it talks about a little bit more detail about the comparison of the Hisense U7S Pro and then the OLED TV, and then you could guess which one is the US 7 Pro and then which is the OLED. And then the question is that does the picture quality rivals OLED? And so that's something that we just need to kind of like think about a little bit further to see if how this is being captured, how the angles are, how close and what type of content is being displayed. But on the U7S Pro, we don't know the price, but if you look at the 2005, the current 2025 Hisense model, you can see that it's priced very competitive, around $1,000 or lesser range, depending on what size you get. So hopefully for 2026, it's probably gonna be priced around the same amount. So here is showing some of the comparisons right now, and like I said before, take this as a grain of salt. We don't know what type of camera that they're using. We don't know what the TV settings are. And then also, the lighting conditions. So there's a lot of things that plays when it comes to the good comparison. But it's nice to see that they are going to come out with a budget friendly option when it comes to the RGB Mini LED TV for 2026. Now I know that TCL and Sony may be coming out with a budget friendly, but the TCL in discussion, be dropping their budget friendly lineup as well, RGB mini LED TVs, but it hasn't been announced specifically of what those are. But maybe sometime later in the future they'll go into more details of what that might be. All right, so after reading that article and looking at the comparison of the Hisense U7S Pro, I don't know. In my honest opinion, from what I'm looking at right now and what I'm reading, I am excited for RGB mini LED TV, especially at a budget friendly price for the consumers. So I don't know what the official price is going to be until we get the announcement in 2026. But more than likely, it's going to be more along the line as in similar prices than what we got in 2025 with Hisense 7 series. So just to imagine looking at TVs that are over 85 inches, looking at 115 inch screen TVs, especially if you could get it at a really good, decent price. That is amazing news, especially when it comes to bigger size screen TVs. Now, I said this before in my previous video. When it comes to OLED technology, I will say this over again, it's not going to compete with OLED technology, especially if you get in a smaller screen like a 55-inch all the way up to 83-inch. OLED is still king, especially when it comes to self-emissive technology. That's something that it will always be the king or holds the crown when it comes to image quality. However, I do like to see how mini LED or RGB mini LED TVs start to, get better over the years. And I like to see new technologies start to come out that will compete with OLED. So let me know what everyone's thoughts are in the comments below. Are you thinking about getting the RGB mini LED TV for next year, especially when it comes to bigger sizes over 85-inch? Are you thinking about getting 100, 115-inch? Let me know in the comments, especially when it comes to the price. But let me know in the comments. But if you could do me a favor first by hitting that like and subscribe button, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you again for giving me the likes and recommending my videos to other people. It really means a lot to me. And so until next time, I see everyone on the next video. Take care. Bye. Of this. Something in my eye. All right. My eye's burning. Bah. Just want to say. All right, so let me go ahead. Say